Hi, everybody. Melissa here. And so today's class is for cramping and bloating. And so if you're feeling uncomfortable, make sure that any of these poses that make you feel worse, if there's anything that comes up that is irritating or is creating more of a problem for you than it is making you feel better, come out of it at any time. You can always switch what you're doing. Remember, you are the expert in your own body, and anything that I say is always just a suggestion. And so for this practice, you will need a couple pillows, a couple blankets, just some stuff to prop our hips and to take care of our head. This is only about a 30-minute practice because if we're in discomfort, we don't want to spend like a ton of time getting relief. We just kind of want some relief. So go ahead and grab your equipment, and then you can start by moving your pillows or bolsters or whatever you have that's kind of large off to the side. And then if you would like, feel free to give yourself a little pillow for your head. We are going to go ahead and lay down on the floor. And so beginning in this position, go ahead and just stretch yourself out. So take a big, long stretch, reaching your hands back behind you. You can interlace your fingers or spread them out, give them a wiggle. You can point your toes, make your body really, really long. Think about lifting your belly up towards the ceiling a little bit, stretching the space through the front of the hips. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and just soften down onto the ground. Let yourself just be a lump. You can think about turning into a little puddle here. Taking another full breath in. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and pull your right knee in towards your chest. We're going to take our hands around our right shin, holding it comfortably there wherever they reach. Your hands do not have to interlace. And now we're also going to bend our left knee and place the left foot on the floor. When you put your left foot on the floor, go ahead and lift your hips up momentarily and scoot your tailbone towards your heel. I'm going to show you that again. So we're going to push into our foot and lift our tailbone slightly so that our pelvis is resting in a more neutral position on the ground and it's not tilted as much. So check that you feel comfortable there, that your sacrum is relaxed onto the floor and that your pelvis feels neutral. And now from here, you can decide to keep this left leg bent, or if you want to, you can extend it back out. That'll give you a little more of a stretch through the front of the left hip flexor. So it depends on how you're feeling, where you are cramping. And so we are going to do a little bit of half bellows breath now. So with your next inhale, let your right knee move away from your chest, extend your arms out. And then as you exhale, we're going to pull our right thigh down towards our chest, press the air out. Inhale, let your leg move away, open it up, feel the space expand, feel your belly expand. Exhale, press it out. Knee moves towards chest. If your leg is straightened, that stretch will increase through the front of the hip. Inhale again, extend it out. Exhale, pull it in. Do a couple more rounds at your pace. You can pull your leg down as far as feels comfortable. You can let it move away from you as far as feels comfortable. Exploring movement here, noticing what your body likes. Wherever you are, do at least one more round. And then when you are ready, use your next inhale to slowly take your right foot back down to the ground. We'll bend our left knee, take the left foot to the floor. And then again, pressing into both feet. We're going to scooch our hips a little bit more away from our shoulders. Your hands can stay on the earth. And then our left knee is going to move in towards our chest. You can take your left hand around your shin. Again, fingers do not have to interlace here. Your right knee can stay bent, or if you like, you can straighten it. Totally player's choice here. Inhale, allow the left leg to move away from your chest. Expand the space between your belly and your thigh. Exhale and pull it in, press the air out. Inhale, extend it out. Ballooning through the belly, opening up. Exhale, press it out. Pressing on our descending colon here. Inhaling to open, maybe getting some gut gurgles. Let's take another breath wherever you are. Exhale, pull it down. Use your next inhale to slowly release your foot down to the floor. Hands can come to the floor. Left knee can stay bent. We'll pull our right knee up now as well. Scooch both of your hips away from your shoulders. Rest flat on your sacrum. With your next inhale, extend both legs, reach your arms back behind you. Take a nice big full body stretch. Notice if there's a little bit more space than when you started. And then with your next exhale, we're going to squeeze both knees in towards our chest, taking your arms around your legs. If your bloating feels like it's too compressed here and a little bit too uncomfortable, take your knees wider. And so wherever you may be, we'll go ahead and roll gently side to side across the spine now. If it would feel good for you, let your arms come to the insides of your legs and then to the outside of your feet. So you're holding the blade edge of your feet. You can keep rocking side to side here, maybe keeping the toes together and pulling your toes slightly towards the top of your head as though you could take your feet up overhead, but still keeping your spine on the floor. Rocking and rolling side to side, massaging your ribs. Thinking about letting your lower back be soft. And frankly, we want to allow our butthole to be soft. So let your sphincter soften as much as you can. If you need to fart, allow yourself to fart. Allow any wind to be removed that needs to be from your body. See if that helps to reduce any bloating or gastric distress. With your next inhale, wherever you are, go ahead and come back to center. You can take your arms back to the outsides of your legs if they're not already there. And now your knees can still stay wide here, or if it doesn't feel discomfort or uncomfortable to you in any way, you can bring the knees together and we'll roll a little bit side to side if you haven't done this already, or if you'd like to get a little bit more. Paying particular attention to rolling across the low back, thinking about getting into the adrenals, keeping as much of your body in contact with the floor as you can in this position. As you feel comfortable, come back to center, and you can make any adjustments that you need. If you need to adjust your hair or your blanket underneath your head or your pillow under your head. We'll take our hands one to the top of each shin. So right hand on right shin, left hand on left shin. Inhale, and we'll allow both knees to move away from our body. Again, knees can be wide if needed. And then exhale, squeeze both legs back down towards you, compressing the air. Inhale, big breath, opening up just like a bellow. Exhale, press the air out. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, squeeze it out, pressing into your intestines. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, soften your sphincter, press the air out. Allow yourself to release any wind if you need to. 2 more rounds, your own pace. As you feel ready, come back to a nice, relaxed, centered position. You can bring your arms back to the insides of your knees, taking your knees wide if they're not already there, bringing both hands to the outside blade edge of your feet, and then lifting your feet up towards the ceiling here, making yourself into a little rock. You can slowly roll side to side once again, moving as much or as little as you like. If you roll all the way over to one side, use your elbow. You can press back up. Again, thinking about pressing the air out. As you feel comfortable, complete your rocking motion. And then slowly lowering your feet towards your bottom. Your hands can come to the outside of your legs. We'll take our time rolling over to the side of your choice. And from here, we'll take our top hand to the floor and we're going to gently press up. And so coming over all the way onto your hands and knees, we're going to make a little support here for the front of our pelvis. And so grab a pillow, a couple blankets, something that's going to give you a little bit of height, but isn't super firm. So we don't want anything that is going to cause us more discomfort, like a block. I wouldn't really recommend here. And so if you have something that you can make sort of long and thin, like this pranayama pillow, that will work wonderfully. I'm going to add a little extra cushion to mine, taking a blanket on top. What we're going to do here is rest the pelvis directly on to our prop, lifting our hips here, helping to take some pressure off of the pelvic floor. And so as your support is in place, go ahead and come forward, adjust it so that it's going to approximately line up directly underneath your hip bones. So it's important that it's on the hip bones. We want it a little bit higher so that we can give the hips, especially the lower back, a little bit of freedom to extend. And so slowly taking your hips down onto it, allowing your heart and chest to melt down to the floor. You can take the forearms here, stacking the palms one on top of the other. Maybe the cheek of your choice rests on your hands, maybe your chin or forehead. Or if you would like, let yourself come all the way down to the ground. You can stretch your arms out like you're giving the world a hug, turning the cheek of your choice, chin or forehead to the ground once more. Letting your legs relax here. Check that your feet are soft. And so if you're gripping in your glutes or in your inner thigh, see if you can let that release. Taking big, slow, deep breaths down into the base of your body. Again, allowing your sphincter to be soft. Feeling the organs relax down towards the floor and off of the pelvic floor. Feel your belly expand down towards the ground as you breathe in. Thinking about filling any of the areas that are experiencing discomfort with space on the inhalation, providing room, allowing that area to rest. Scan your body once more and notice if you are able to release a little more tension. Deepening your breath, prepare for movement. Taking your hands beside your chest here, finding your knees on the ground. Now we're going to move up through a low plank just momentarily. And so inhaling, lifting up through the hips. Slowly pull your knees forward towards your support here. And just for a moment, we'll sit down onto the top of our shins. If that's not comfortable for you, go ahead and send your feet off towards the side. We don't want to do anything that's going to exacerbate how we're feeling right now. So make sure that you are honoring where you are. We're going to turn our prop now so that it's facing towards the short end of the mat and opening the knees about mat width distance apart. We'll keep the toes touching here if that feels okay, or if you want to, let your feet also come a little bit further apart. That will take some of the stability out of the pelvis, so that's part of the reason I prefer to have them together. It's totally up to you though, personal preference. Now take your prop and you're going to slide it back towards you a little bit and add one of your pillows on top because we don't want to have to come quite so low this time. And now we're going to go directly to the source with our own hands. Bringing your hands together in front of you, go ahead and rub your hands, creating some warmth in your palms. And when your hands feel nice and warm, we're going to go ahead and place them right on our pelvis. So wherever you may be experiencing cramps, you can hold that heat right directly from your hands into the area of discomfort. And now keeping your hands here, inhale and draw your heart forward and up towards the ceiling, like you are doing cow pose. Exhale and slowly come down. You can rest the cheek of your choice down onto your support. And we're going to let our elbows relax down beside us as well, holding our hands here. Allow your belly to breathe into your hands and rest your weight completely onto the top of your pillows, resting here in this child's pose for a few breaths. If your neck becomes uncomfortable, you can turn your head at any time. Relax into the other knee. Continuing to experience the expansion of your breath into your own hands. I invite you to stay in this position as long as you are comfortable and experiencing full sensation in your body. We'll exit now to come to our final pose of the practice. So go ahead and slowly release your hands from your hips, pressing your hands into the ground. You can inhale and very slowly take your time to roll up back to a seated position. And so we've been on our knees for a while here. Let's go ahead and take the time to roll your feet off to one side, coming back onto your bottom. You can take one foot in front of the other. And so for this next part, we're going to transition to a wall. And so you can use your same props if you want, bringing your pillow against a wall and then taking your wider part, or maybe your firmer part, all the way back against it. And so in this position, we are going to be squatting against the wall. Squats are a absolutely marvelous way to take a little bit of pressure off of the pelvic floor and to help release some discomfort down there. And so go ahead and take your hands to the wall first, taking your feet to straddle your props. And then taking your bottom to the wall, use your hands to slowly slide your bottom down onto the wall so that you come to rest onto your pillows at whatever height you need to allow your sits bones to be supported. And so that can be as high as you need, as many blankets as you need, or if it's just too much altogether for your knees, use a chair instead. Sitting with the chair, you can still press your back into the wall or into the seat or into the back of the chair. And so we'll turn our toes out just slightly here. Using your hands, you can press your elbows a little bit into your knees to begin with, opening the inner thigh and groin, widening through the pelvis. If you can think of the pelvic floor as kind of a diamond shape, we want to think about opening and spreading a little bit through the front of the diamond, taking a little bit of relief off of that pelvic floor to hold the organs, especially if they are inflamed or swollen or uncomfortable. So we want to think about sitting up with our sits bones supported here and that space being stretched. Now, to add a little layer of yumminess, we can take our hands to the top part of our hips, letting the shoulders rest down against the wall with the elbows relaxed down against the wall as well. And you can slowly close the eyes or soften your gaze as that feels comfortable. And we'll take our full awareness down into the base of the spine. Feeling our hands move slightly away from one another as we inhale. And feeling the hands move slightly back towards one another as we exhale. This is our gesture of the lower body breathing, focusing on drawing the breath downward into the body, filling the base of the body with prana, or our life force energy. Feeling the hands move away from one another as you inhale and the belly expands, the diaphragm drops, pulling oxygen in through the breath. And as you exhale, feeling the hands move slightly towards one another as the diaphragm lifts and presses the air out of your body, releasing CO2. If you're still comfortable here, take about 3 more rounds of breath. Notice if you're gripping or holding on anywhere, especially in the inner thigh and groin. See if you can allow it to release and relax a little more. Now, you are welcome to hold this posture as long as feels comfortable for you. Whenever you feel ready to release, you can slowly take your hands down first, opening your eyes if they're not already open. And now from this position, you can take one foot in front of the other if that feels comfortable, if you have enough support to do so, depending on your flexibility. Depending on how your pillows are supported, you can kind of come down off first and then set yourself back up onto your support so that you're seated against the wall with your ankles crossed or one foot resting in front of the other. So the point is we still want to be resting against the wall. And so we will close our practice by once again warming up our hands. And then as you feel ready, we'll bring our hands into a diamond shape with the thumbs and index fingers touching. And then we'll place our hands on the front of the pelvis, softening the shoulders, sending waves of healing energy down into the base of our body through our breath. Taking a moment here to feel grateful for our body that moves through these cycles, knowing innately, subconsciously what to do without our input. Feeling grateful for our eliminatory systems that so dutifully remove waste, allowing us to continue. Grateful for our digestive system, allowing us to process and to discern what is waste and what is not. Feeling grateful for this time to acknowledge our discomfort, to be with our cramps and bloating, and to recognize that we will not always feel this way. And that it is worthy of our time and attention to move through this discomfort. Grateful to be as we are. We can join our hands together in front of our heart now in our prayer mudra. Acknowledging our intention to move forward with less pain. Touching the thumbs to the forehead, reminding us to live with an open mind. And bringing our thumbs to our heart, reminding us to love with an open heart. It's been my honor to guide you through your practice. We can acknowledge one another with Namaste. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that was relieving in some way for you. Please let me know what your experience is like. I'm thinking of you and I'm here for you if you have any questions whatsoever. Sending huge amounts of love your way.